Victoria sat quietly on the soft couch in her family's grand living room, scrolling through her phone. The marble floor shimmered beneath the dazzling chandelier above, and the scent of fresh flowers filled the air, but none of it lifted her spirits. She had just returned from her friend's engagement party. Everyone there had someone by their side. Everyone except her. Suddenly, her younger cousin Cynthia entered, a bright, smug smile lighting up her face. "Hello, Victoria," Cynthia said, dropping her designer bag on the table with a deliberate thud. "Still single. I see." Victoria frowned. "Cynthia, what is it now?" Cynthia smirked. "You're older than me, richer than me, yet not a single man wants you. Isn't that sad? No boyfriend, no fianza. You have everything, except what really matters." Victoria's eyes hardened. "Watch your tongue, Cynthia, or I'll make you regret it." Cynthia laughed, flipping her long braids. "Please get a man like my fiancé first before you lecture me. I'm getting married in 3 months. And guess what? You'll be sitting with the single women at the back again." That was the last straw. Victoria stood up, voice cold. "Get out now." "Oh, I will," Cynthia said, waving the invitation card tauntingly as she strutted away like she owned the place. Seething, Victoria stormed into the kitchen where her mother, a gentle woman in her 60s, was brewing tea. "Mommy, can you believe what Cynthia said to me?" Victoria asked. "What happened this time?" Her mother glanced up calmly. "She said I'm pathetic because I'm older than her and still alone, that I have no man. She even gloated that she's getting married before me." Her mother set the kettle down slowly and looked at her daughter. "She shouldn't have said that. But Victoria, she's right." Victoria blinked, shocked. "You are older than her, Victoria. You're not getting any younger. You need a man. I need grandchildren. Your father, too. The family reunion is next month. All your cousins will come with husbands or fiancés, even if it's a poor man. Just find someone." Victoria gasped. "A poor man? Never. Mommy, do you want me to become a joke in front of all those foolish girls you call my cousins?" Her mother sighed. "I've said my piece. Think about it." Victoria was too angry to reply. She grabbed her phone and car keys. "Meet me at home. I'm not ready to talk now." She slammed the door on her way out. 3 days later, Victoria was driving home from the mall, her mind still troubled by the approaching reunion. Everyone would be there with their partners. Everyone except her. She hated the thought of Cynthia mocking her again, like a red light. Something caught her eye. On the roadside sat a beggar. His clothes were dusty, hair messy, yet his face was strikingly handsome. She rolled down the window and stared. The beggar looked up and smiled politely. "Good afternoon, madam. Yes, this is my spot." "What's your name?" she asked. "Richard," he replied humbly. Victoria studied him for a moment. Then suddenly an idea sparked in her mind. A crazy one. "Get in the car." Richard hesitated, confused. "Madam, I can't enter a stranger's car." "I'm not a stranger," Victoria smiled. "You're about to become my fiancé." Richard's eyes widened in disbelief. "I'll explain everything. Just come with me." He hesitated, then slowly stood, gathered his things, and climbed into the car. At her mansion, Victoria laid out the plan. "I need someone to pretend to be my fiancé for the family reunion. My cousins are all getting married, and I refuse to show up alone." Richard laughed nervously. "But I'm just a poor beggar. Your family will know I don't belong. That's why you'll stay here with me for a while. I'll clean you up, change your look, and teach you how to talk like a rich man. They won't know the difference." Richard stood. "I can't lie to your family. Victoria crossed her arms. I'll pay you. She paused, then added, 6 million naira now, 6 million after the reunion. Richard blinked, stunned. That was enough to feed him for months. You're serious? He asked. She nodded, dead serious. After a moment's thought, he sat back down. Okay, I'll do it. Victoria smiled with satisfaction. Good. You'll stay in the guest room. Tomorrow, the transformation begins. I want those fools to see the man I bring to the reunion. The next morning, Victoria knocked on Richard's door, holding a towel, clothes, and a toothbrush. Richard, wake up. Today is makeover day. Richard opened the door, rubbing his eyes. He'd slept on a soft bed for the first time in years, the scent of fresh linen still clinging to him. Go take a hot shower. I booked a salon appointment. We need to fix your hair and beard. Richard smiled. Yes, Victoria. And please, she added, raising an eyebrow, try to act like you belong here. You almost bowed to the chef yesterday. He laughed. Old habits. An hour later, Victoria drove him to a luxury men's salon. The barbers trimmed his beard, styled his hair, and gave him a facial. When he emerged clean and glowing, Victoria blinked. You look wow. He chuckled. Is that a compliment? Don't let it get to your head, she said quickly. Next, a boutique. She made him try on expensive suits, shoes, and watches. After spending nearly 500,000 naira, she stood back and admired him. Now he didn't just look rich, he looked like a CEO. This will work, she said proudly. The girls won't know what hit them. That evening, back at the mansion, Victoria sat with Richard in the living room, beginning his lessons. Rule 1. No begging language. Don't say madam or thank you, ma. You are a boss. Okay, boss lady, Richard teased. Victoria rolled her eyes but smiled. Rule 2. When asked about your work, say you own a tech company in Abuja. Make it simple and believable. What's the company called? Right Solutions. I like that. For days, Victoria taught him how to walk, eat, and talk like a rich man. She was surprised by how fast he learned. He was smart, very smart. One afternoon, while fixing his tie, she paused. You know, you're actually very handsome. Richard smiled softly. Thank you. You're beautiful too. She cleared her throat. Focus. We still have work to do. But something strange happened over time. Victoria laughed more. Richard's jokes and calm presence made her smile in a way she hadn't for a long time. He wasn't arrogant like the men she dated. He was gentle, thoughtful, real. One night, by the pool under the moonlight, soft music playing, Richard asked, "Why are you helping me?" Victoria looked at him honestly. I don't know anymore. At first, it was pride. I didn't want to be the only one alone at the reunion. But now, she paused. Maybe because you remind me of something I've been missing. He looked deep into her eyes. Like what? Peace, she whispered. Silence fell between them, heavy and meaningful. Then her phone rang. Her mother. Victoria, are you coming to the reunion? Everyone's preparing. Yes, Mom. I'll be there with someone special. Her mother laughed joyfully. Ah, finally. I can't wait to meet him. Victoria hung up and turned to Richard. Get ready. You're meeting my whole family this weekend. He raised an eyebrow. Are you sure I'm ready? She smiled. You'll be perfect. What Victoria didn't know was that Richard wasn't just playing a role. He had a secret of his own. The reunion day arrived. Victoria stood before her mirror, adjusting her gold necklace. Richard entered, looking sharp in a fitted black suit. He looked nothing like the beggar she'd found on the street days ago. Remember everything I taught you? She asked. Yes. Right Solutions, Abuja. I'm your loving fiancé. We've been together 6 months. Perfect. They walked arm in arm into the grand compound filled with cars, decorations, and music. Every head turned, gasps and whispers filling the air. Victoria held her head high, ignoring the murmurs. Inside, her mother spoke with Cynthia's mother, Mrs. Sandra. Ah, Evelyn, Mrs. Sandra sneered, sipping her juice. Your daughter finally came. I thought she'd run out of shame. Evelyn smiled calmly. Why would she? She's a grown woman. A grown woman with no husband, Sandra shot back. Older than all her cousins, yet unwanted. Isn't that embarrassing? Look at my daughter, young, beautiful, marrying a wealthy man soon. Evelyn raised an eyebrow. The fiancé none of you have ever seen. Mrs. Sandra blinked. We've seen pictures. He lives abroad. Evelyn laughed. Pictures? Even I can download photos from the internet. Mrs. Sandra frowned. Have you met him? Seen him on video? Met his family. Evelyn pressed. No, Sandra stammered. Exactly, Evelyn said coldly. You mock my daughter while your own is marrying a ghost. Mrs. Sandra's eyes widened. Watch your mouth, she warned. No, you watch yours, Evelyn shot back. My daughter doesn't flaunt her relationship. She came today with her man. Wait till you see him. Just then, Victoria walked in holding Richard's hand. All eyes turned again. Mrs. Sandra's mouth dropped open. Cynthia gasped loudly. Victoria smiled sweetly. Good afternoon, aunties. Mommy. Her mother hugged her warmly. Welcome, my child. Richard greeted respectfully. Good afternoon, ma'am. Evelyn beamed. Everyone, meet Richard, my daughter's fiancé. More gasps at Mrs. Sandra stammered. Fiancé? Yes. Evelyn smiled proudly. And a very successful businessman from Abuja, not some fake hiding abroad. Cynthia's face flushed red with embarrassment. You didn't tell us you had a man, one cousin whispered. Victoria really kept this a secret. Victoria laughed softly. Some things are better shown than told. Richard smiled, charming everyone as Victoria introduced him. She never expected him tonight. Tears welled up in her eyes. Richard, I love you too, she whispered. I've been waiting to hear you say that, he said softly. Please stay. Don't leave me. He looked away, lost in thought for a moment. I have to leave on Monday, he said quietly. There are things I must handle, but I promise I will call you and visit often. She grasped his hand tightly. Just promise me one thing. Anything. Never go back to that street, the place where I found you. Never sit there again. Never beg, no matter how hard life gets. He smiled gently. Never. I won't even pass that road. The money you gave me is enough to start a small business. You saved me, Victoria. I will never forget that. She moved closer, wrapping her arms around him. You saved me too, she whispered. He brushed her cheek with his fingers, leaned in, and kissed her softly. She didn't pull away. Instead, she kissed him back, holding him like someone she never wanted to lose. That night, they stayed up talking and laughing like old friends reunited. No more pretense, just real love between a rich girl and the man she once thought was just a beggar. But deep in Richard's heart, one secret weighed on him. He hadn't told her the whole truth. He wasn't starting a small business. He already owned one of Africa's biggest companies. He wasn't a beggar by accident. He had been hiding on purpose. And soon, the truth would come out. But for now, he just wanted to savor the moment. The next morning, Victoria sat in her room, feeling fresh and happy after finishing a call with Richard. He told her he'd arrived safely at his apartment and promised to call again later that evening. Her heart was full of joy. Suddenly, Her phone rang again. Cynthia. Victoria rolled her eyes and sighed. What does she want now? She answered and put the call on speaker. What is it, Cynthia? She said without greeting. Cynthia's voice was sharp and proud. I just called to remind you that my fiancé is far more handsome and richer than that fake CEO you're flaunting around. Victoria burst out laughing. You must be dreaming, she said between laughs. How can you be so sure about a man you've never even met? I've seen his pictures, Cynthia snapped. Oh, please, Victoria clapped sarcastically. Pictures copied from Instagram? You don't even know if he's real or a scammer. He sent me money every week. Cynthia shouted. Victoria shook her head, laughing harder. Money from Yahoo Boys, maybe? You said your fiancé is abroad, but never video called you once. He's busy, Cynthia fired back. And for your information, he's about to be a billionaire. You wish, Victoria giggled. Even your fiancé can't spell billionaire, just like you can't spell your own name without checking your bank balance. Cynthia gasped. You're insulting me. Victoria stood, smiling coldly. Yes, you don't have sense. You always come bothering me with nonsense. My man is real, fine, tall, and hardworking. Yours is hiding in some random WhatsApp group chat. You're just jealous, Cynthia shouted. I'm getting married soon. Jealous of what? A clown like you? Girl, please, Victoria scoffed. I've been patient with your stupidity. Since your mother failed to train you, I'll finish the job. Don't you dare bring my mother into this. Cynthia screamed. Oh, shut up, Victoria waved dismissively. Let me help you rest your miserable life. And with that, she tapped the block button. She smiled as the screen read, You have blocked this contact. Finally, she whispered, Peace has returned. She tossed her phone on the bed and walked to the mirror, still smiling. This is why I'll never marry a man like your so-called fiancé, she said softly. Empty packaging, no value, just noise. She took a deep breath and looked at her reflection. But Richard, she whispered, you're different. You're real. Far away, Richard sat in his luxurious apartment, staring at his phone, missing her already. He scrolled through her pictures, smiling softly. 4 days later, Cynthia stood at the gate with her mother, both dressed up, makeup done, expectations high. Cynthia's fiancé from abroad was finally back in Nigeria to see her for the first time in person. He's probably coming in a big black SUV, Cynthia said, fixing her fake smile. But when the car arrived, it was an old taxi. The driver helped a man out of the back, a man in a wheelchair. Cynthia's smile vanished immediately. What is this? She whispered. The man rolled forward, smiling warmly. Hello, Cynthia. I am Kingsley. Her fiancé. Cynthia stepped back in shock. Yes, I had a terrible accident a year ago. I've been in therapy since then. I wanted to tell you, but was afraid. Afraid of what? That I'd reject you. I didn't lie, he said calmly. I just couldn't find the right way to tell you. I knew if I told the truth, you would never give me a chance. You're right, she shouted. I can't marry someone in a wheelchair. She stormed inside. You tricked me. Mrs. Sandra followed her, leaving Kingsley alone and sat at the gate. Inside, Cynthia paced angrily. How can I marry a man in a wheelchair? Her mother spoke quietly. Calm down. We'll think this through. What's there to think about? I can't marry a man like this. Mrs. Sandra stepped closer. You will marry him. What? Yes. You'll manage him for now. After the wedding, wait 3 years. Then we'll find a smart lawyer, get a divorce, and take everything he owns. Cynthia's eyes widened. Are you serious? Yes, but don't get pregnant. We don't want you stuck with a disabled child. Just be smart. Treat him well at first, then we strike. Cynthia nodded, wiping tears. I can do that. Mrs. Sanders smiled coldly. That's my girl. Unbeknownst to them, Victoria's mother Evelyn had come by and overheard their plan through the open window. She said nothing, simply walked away. An hour later, Victoria sat on her couch when her phone rang. Pick up, pick up, Evelyn whispered as the phone rang. Hello, Mom, Victoria answered. My daughter, Evelyn laughed. You won't believe what I just heard. What happened? Cynthia's rich fiancé is back in Nigeria, and he's in a wheelchair. Victoria nearly dropped the phone. What? Yes, that's why he never video called her. He's crippled. Victoria burst into loud laughter. Her mother joined in. Mom, that girl is really stupid, Victoria said between laughs. There's nothing wrong with marrying a disabled person, but the same Cynthia who mocked me and called Richard fake. I heard everything, Evelyn said. She said she can't marry him. Guess what? Evelyn said. She should marry him and later divorce to collect his money. Victoria shook her head. That family is something else. So ungrateful. Evelyn nodded. After everything Kingsley did for her, sent her money, treated her well, this wickedness, she deserves it, Evelyn said. And my son Richard is 1,000 times better. Victoria smiled. I know, Mom. And to think Cynthia once said, I had nothing. They laughed again. This life, Evelyn said, tables always turn. They turn well, Mom. Very well. 2 weeks later, Victoria entered a beautiful, rose-decorated restaurant holding Richard's hand. Why are we here? She asked, smiling. Richard looked in her eyes. I want to tell you the full truth about me. What do you mean? He took a deep breath. Victoria, my name is Richard Edwards. I'm not starting a small business. I'm already a billionaire and CEO of Edwards Global Tech. Victoria froze. What? He smiled gently. I was pretending to be poor when we met. I was tired of people chasing me for money. I wanted someone real. And I found you. Tears filled her eyes, shock and joy. You're that Richard Edwards? The one on TV. He nodded. She covered her mouth. Oh my God. One more thing, he said, kneeling on one knee and pulling out a sparkling diamond ring. Victoria, you gave me your heart when you thought I had nothing. You respected me, loved me, and made me whole. Will you marry me? She shook, tears streaming down. Yes, she screamed, covering her face. Yes, yes, yes. The few diners clapped and cheered as he slipped the ring on her finger. They hugged tightly, smiling like fools. The next day, the news spread like wildfire. Billionaire Richard Edwards engaged Victoria Adams, the lucky bride-to-be. Cynthia saw the news and almost choked on her food. No, it can't be her. She hurried to her room, dressed up, and told her mother, I'm going to destroy that gold digger's happiness. At Richard's office, he sat smiling at Victoria's pictures when a receptionist knocked. Sir, a woman says she's your fiancé's cousin. Should I send her in? He frowned. Yes. Cynthia entered with a fake smile. Good afternoon, Mr. Richard. I'm here to warn you. Victoria is not who you think she is. She's a gold digger. Richard's voice was cold. I know everything about Victoria, her past, struggles, and her heart. You're nothing but a bitter liar. Cynthia froze. I'm only trying to help. No, you're trying to destroy. Security will escort you out. As she left, he added, Don't ever mention my fiancé again. That evening, Richard called Victoria and told her everything. Victoria was not surprised. That girl never gives up, she said, shaking her head. Let me call Mom. She needs to hear this. 10 minutes later, Victoria's mother called Cynthia's mother. You had the guts to lie to my daughter's fiancé? Do you people even know shame? Evelyn barked. Evelyn, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Your daughter is useless. You insulted my daughter and mocked her. Now that she's happy, you want to destroy it?